Hello, dears. My name is Rose, and I am happy to share with you how I managed to become the self-made, or rather, selfie-made billionaire. Many of you probably find it unreal to achieve such a status on your own. However, this is exactly what I have done. Though I was just an ordinary girl, went to an ordinary school, and grew up in an ordinary family, just like many of you. Well, before anything, I want to give special credit to my beloved parents, from who I inherited my incredible appearance. Since my school years, I gained popularity in my city, where I participated in all kinds of beauty contests, always gaining first places and awards. Soon, I started to get noticed by some starting brands that offered me to become their model. Even then, I was starting to gain popularity. However, the most grandiose changes in my life came from the moment when I created my page on Instagram. And yeah, I was only 16 then. I must say, I had never posted anything special on my Instagram. Mostly, it was just my regular photos from everyday life. Just a bunch of different selfies, my modeling photos, meetings with friends, family photos, selfies with my favorite pugs. However, even my most ordinary photos were gaining incredible popularity. One photo could easily get from 10 to several hundred thousands of likes. And I didn't even use a large number of hashtags, as many other models do, to achieve popularity on the internet. In my case, everything is much simpler. It's just me, and my extraordinary beauty. People just like me. I attract their attention like a magnet, and I don't even do anything special for it. In addition to my starting career as a model, I also trained as a makeup artist and started making short video makeup tutorials for my Instagram. This content instantly increased my followers and fans. I liked what I was doing, and I also liked my rapidly growing popularity. It was Instagram that motivated me to move on and do something new. But there was one problem. While I continued to actively participate in various advertising projects and beauty contests, I didn't have enough time for school. I had only 1 year of school left, but I often had to skip classes, or even worse, I didn't come to school at all for several days in a row. But as soon as the school found the reason for my absenteeism, the teachers began to press me a lot. They kept telling me I would grow up stupid, that without the education, I wouldn't be able to find me a normal job, and the only thing I would be able to do was sweep the yards. It was just awful. I often came home all in tears, and sometimes I even thought they were right. But as soon as the modeling legacies called me to invite me for the shootings, I would immediately drop everything and ran to the studio. As a result, I was absent so much in school that I was expelled. Of course, I didn't want that, but what could I do? My modeling career meant too much to me. However, my parents didn't share my desires and aspirations either. On the contrary, they caused a big fight at home, saying that I would never achieve anything in my life with just beauty. Anyway, the time had passed, and within a year, I already had several million followers on Instagram, and every single post of mine was exploding with likes. Every week, I started to receive dozens of interesting offers from advertising agencies, famous big brands, and TV projects. Most often, these were jewelry brands, lingerie, and clothing brands, and of course, lots of cosmetic brands. Almost every month, I had signed large contracts and advertised lots of cool goods, but most of all, I loved to work with cosmetic companies. They sent me a huge amount of expensive lipsticks, eyeshadows, glosses, highlighters, and all kinds of other products, which I used to do gorgeous makeup and show it on Instagram. Thanks to all of my photos and videos, just in 2 years, I had over 50 million followers, and that was just the beginning. By the age of 18, I had gained popularity and wealth that I couldn't even dream of just a year ago. I became completely independent, lived on my own, could afford any luxury I wanted, was visiting the most expensive resorts of the world, was engaged in various charitable activities. Well, even back then, I made enough money for a good life, but I couldn't stop. I just kept moving on. Soon, I created my own YouTube channel. I was advertising it on Instagram, and within a month, I had almost 1 million subscribers there. And then I got the idea to create my own line of professional cosmetics. I didn't know how successful this would be, but I didn't even think about it. I just had a great desire to do it, and I used all my efforts to achieve this goal. And it wasn't in vain. As soon as I released my first edition of lipsticks, it was immediately sold out in a matter of hours to my Instagram followers. This result was simply stunning. I would never have thought that success can come so quickly. Just in the first couple of months, I managed to earn about $30 million from selling Well, I just found my place in the beauty industry, and I would never trade it for anything else. I've been constantly investing in my cosmetic company, thereby expanding the range and increasing sales. I created my own online shop, but still, most of my sales were done through my Instagram page, and as soon as I show some new product, it immediately gets sold out. But even that was just the beginning of my wealth. While expanding my company, I also started to sign contracts with the most popular offline markets. It's not like I'm missing out on online sales. I just enjoy the fact that people love what I do for them. Anyway, last year, I signed one of the biggest contracts in my life. This is a giant cosmetics and perfume company that manufactures products for over 70 brands. And thanks to my name, the revenues of this company increased by as much as 25%. Thanks to this, the audience of my customers has also increased significantly. And now I have turned from a millionaire to a billionaire. And I still can't believe it. In addition to my main cosmetic business, I also continue to be in the advertising and modeling business and participate in many television shows. Also, now I have over 140 million people that follow my Instagram page, and I am one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the world. I've been constantly offered very tempting sums of money to sell my company, but I will never sell it. It was my dream. I built it myself, and I will be the owner of it for the rest of my life. As for my parents, they live now in a big house, and they will never have to work ever again. I just proved to them they were wrong before, and I did achieve everything I was dreaming about. And as for my teachers at school, well, I hope they are doing good and don't have part-time jobs as janitors. And yes, I'm not Kylie Jenner.
Hi, my name is Thomas. I'm from Colorado, USA, and I'm 18 years old. I'm going to tell you some shocking things that happened in my life. Last year, I had an important flight, but once I was aboard the plane, it turned out to be the worst adventure of my life. As soon as I graduated from school with the gold medal, I immediately entered one of the best universities in the world where I was going to get my PhD in physics. I was on the doorstep of the most important and most exciting period of my life and was counting days until the biggest life changes started. So the day had come when I will have my first air trip over the beloved country with the landing point in Massachusetts. Very soon, my most cherished dream will come true and I will become a student at Harvard University. But as soon as boarding started, I suddenly felt incredible anxiety and fear as I first stepped into the plane. It was the feeling that something was going wrong, but then I understood it was caused by my height phobia. However, for the sake of my goal, I was ready for anything. But I couldn't even imagine what a nightmare was waiting for me. In front of me, I saw a group of tall and slender girls. There were 7 of them, and I thought they had to be models or something. But as soon as we took our seats, a stewardess entered the cabin. She announced the imminent departure of the flight and wished us a pleasant journey. Then I turned around and I realized that there were no more passengers. That means I am a single boy who will fly among the company of girls. Well, I certainly didn't expect such a test on my way to Harvard. Soon, I started to notice their glances and heard laughing, which made me feel uncomfortable. Please, don't get me wrong, I'm a nerd in every aspect. I don't even have friends, and I had never been close with girls, never spoke to them, nothing. And here I am, surrounded by a group of pretty girls whose attention is focused on me. It made me feel so uncomfortable that I wanted to get up and leave the plane, but it was already too late. And this flight meant one of the most important stages in my life. The plane was kind of small, and it began to shake slightly during the takeoff. However, my foresight didn't let me down. I took a couple of sedative pills, put on my headphones, and fixed my gaze at the window. In such a position, I spent about half an hour, when all of a sudden, someone took away my headphones. One of the girls took a seat next to me. It must be very boring for you to sit here all alone. Massachusetts is still 5 hours away. Let's get acquainted. Suddenly, I smelled such a harsh mixture of perfumes and alcohol that I thought I would throw up. Anyway, I collected all my will and decency and politely told her I didn't feel so well, so I better be alone. Fortunately, she wasn't too persistent and immediately left the seat. But damn, that terrible train of hers caused me unpleasant reflexes for a while still. And as soon as I had time to relax, another girl came, and she smelled even stronger and more disgusting. I'm not allergic, but those smells made me sneeze a lot. It was kind of an awkward situation, however, I didn't scare her away. "Sup, handsome? May I dispel your boredom?" Suddenly, she handed me some kind of alcoholic drink, and I must admit, I had never even tasted alcohol in my life. And I wanted to refuse when she shouted, "Come on, drink! It will make your flight much nicer and more fun." Then she gave me such a daring look that I simply had no other choice. The taste of alcohol was so disgusting that I had to drink the whole bottle in one sip just so I could get rid of it quickly. Then I felt like I suddenly became drunk. My body temperature was going through the roof, And, with nothing to breathe with, I opened my shirt and only prayed to God for that nightmare flight to end soon. In such a condition, I didn't even notice when another girl came up. This one seemed to be much nicer than the previous two, and surprisingly, I was even able to talk to her a little bit. But while speaking with her, I didn't even notice how I managed to drink the second bottle that she brought to me. Suddenly, I got dizzy, and everything around turned into some endless noise. I was trying my best to hold on, but when it became unbearable, I got up and went to the boys' room. I have never felt so bad in my life. I was so exhausted that I spent about an hour in the boys' room before I suddenly heard a knock on the door. How long will you sit there? I barely managed to open the door and take a step forward when I was immediately pushed back. It was those two girls who approached me first. They were both drunk, very loud, and behaved indecently. They kept drinking, started to take photos with me, played some music and danced while I was barely staying on my feet. But soon a stewardess knocked on the door. What's going on there? Thank God, someone came to help me. The girls quickly tidied themselves up, opened the door, and started complaining about me. I just couldn't believe it. They told the stewardess I pestered them all the way and then broke them into the toilet. Just incredible. I wanted to explain that wasn't true, but I was so wasted that I couldn't even speak. Anyway, it all ended with the decision to suspend the flight in Wisconsin in order to drop me off the plane. But it's only halfway to where I was going to. Well, I guess that was for the better. The police were waiting for me already at the airport. They put me in a car and took me to the station. However, when I came to my senses, I told them what had happened and that I was the victim. I showed them all my documents, proving that I was just on my way to the university, and what had happened on the plane was just an absurd accident caused by the terrible behavior of the girls. Fortunately, they believed me, and I was released. Then I ran to the ticket office and got a ticket for the next flight to Massachusetts. This time, I was lucky, and by the evening, I finally managed to get to the place I needed. This flight cost me a lot of stress and nerves indeed, but despite all the obstacles, my dream came true. And now, I'm studying at Harvard University as I always wanted.